the modern-day witch.
Yes, indeed.
This is her. Isla Dawn, pleasure to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for coming on Gorilla Position.
No, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Very excited.
So, how are you doing? Are you excited about these? So we're in Cambridge.
Yes.
We're coming up night 2 of the first set of tapings for NXT UK. How are you feeling to be part of it?
Overwhelmed, excited, like every adjective possible. It's so exciting to be able to be a part of something that's so special for not just wrestling worldwide, but for specifically British wrestling. To get an opportunity, because you don't, you like, obviously, like working for WWE and something like NXT UK seemed such like a pipe dream a while ago. Like you never expected anything like this to happen, and even if it did happen, like in your mind you'd always kind of be going like, oh, I'd love to be involved in it, but would you get involved? So to actually have this come true, it's a dream.
And I was talking to Jordan, and he was saying it's particularly exciting because, and you were just saying before we started rolling, how exciting it is for everyone because it's all so new and it's fresh, and it's kind of everyone's chance to put their stamp on things. Everybody's
starting at the same place. Everybody's come in. We don't know exactly where this is going to end up in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, whatever else, but we're just like focusing on making it like the best product that we can, having the best matches we can, having the best, like everything we want to like really make this the best that it can be. So everybody's come in at a level where we're like, right, let's go, let's work, let's put in everything, and it's really exciting. And it's like an amazing group of people as well, like talent-wise, crew, everybody, like it is such a good group of people. So it's a great atmosphere to work in, and you're ready to come in and work, and you're ready to like really put in that effort to make this the best.
And is it fair to say that this is a kind of pool of young homegrown talents who kind of have chips on their shoulders because they want to sort of prove how good they are and how well they can do with this?
Well, that's the thing. Like British wrestling has been full of talent for years. Like even we obviously had like the World of Sport days. Like years ago, we had like Prime Wrestling, and then it kind of died down. It wasn't as popular, and people weren't going to shows as much. But there was still a massive level of talent. Like there was so many unbelievably talented wrestlers who never got the recognition that they should have. That never got the recognition that they deserved. But then also they like laid the foundation for all of us to come in, and without them we wouldn't have been here. So almost it doesn't even seem like a chip on our shoulder to try and like prove something. I feel as if it's almost trying to make like everything that everybody's been doing for all the years of British wrestling to go, right, this is a collective of, we're trying to make something that yous are proud of as well, that yous 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that yous are also like, we built that, we started and we built it, and we laid the foundation for NXT UK to happen, for people to get these opportunities in the UK, which would have seemed impossible a while ago. And what can fans expect from this series? Because kind of details are scarce at the moment. We don't know a lot, but I know that the action is awesome. What I saw in the ring last night was incredible. But yeah, what can fans expect from this? Well, not to give too much away, but this is obviously it's a WWE product and it's a WWE standard, but it's with the British stamp. Like we are British wrestlers, we have our style, we have the fan base that British wrestling has is ridiculously amazing. So we have definitely got that British stamp on WWE. Yeah. But it's what you can expect is talented wrestlers, great matches, great entertainment, everything that you want to watch. Yeah. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be once it goes out, I think people are going to be really, really, really happy with the product. I
can't wait to see it come out. I can't wait. So you're relatively new in the industry. You've been not quite 5 years. Is that right?
Yes, 4 years. I've been training for 5 years and then wrestling professionally on shows for just over 4. Okay. So I'm one of the kind of least experienced. Obviously I've got experience. I've travelled about quite a lot, and I've travelled Europe. I've went to Japan. I've went to America. I've like had experience, but I'm in terms of like years in, like I'm one of the kind of newer ones.
Yeah.
So it's that, but it's great as well because there's so many people that have been doing this. Like whether it's people like Tony, who's been started when she was 14, or whether there's people like Trent, who's been doing this for like 15 years. Like everybody's like, there's so many people that are so experienced and they're so willing to help and they're so willing to give advice and really make sure that people are going out and doing their best.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good supportive, like everybody wants everybody to do their best.
And so you haven't been in the industry long, but what hooked you into this industry?
Well, I came in a really like weird format. I was a wrestling fan for years, like all through my childhood, and I used to like be in the back garden, and I've got 3 older sisters, so I was usually the one getting battered, but we would all wrestle in the back and stuff. And I used to go to SWE shows and watch. In the days of like Drew McIntyre, he was on the shows at the time, like his like 19, I think he was. So it was weird seeing that, then like meeting him later on, and I was like, oh, I used to watch you. But so I was a massive wrestling fan, and then just as I got older, I danced and I done acting and kickboxing and all these different other sports and entertainment forms. And I studied acting. I got my degree in acting, and then I was doing a theatre play about professional wrestling, about women's professional wrestling. So to make sure that we were giving like proper credit to wrestling and make sure we were like doing it justice and not just like making it look daft, we got in Killian Dane.
Okay.
He was still like, he was a trainer at the time, so he came in and he showed us and showed some people some moves and how to like safely do things, and basically gave us a bit of insight into wrestling. And then I got pally with him, and he knew he'd seen me act, he knew I'd done kickboxing, he knew I'd danced, he knew I was quite sporty and I'd done like competitive sports and everything, and he was a bit like, I was going to try and do an Irish accent, but it'd be terrible.
Oh, please do.
So I won't do the Irish
please
accent. Like he encouraged me, and he was like, come try it, like see if you like it, you might know. He was like, I think you might be good at it. So I went along to training, and I was a bit like, like at that time, obviously still I'd loved wrestling, but acting was my goal, like acting was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And
then basically as soon my first training session, I was like, no, this is the thing that I was meant to do.
Okay.
I was like, it's kind of combined everything, because it's got the entertainment factor, it's got the physical factor, it's got the competition, so it had everything I'd done previously all in one. So I was like, this is kind of what I'd been working for the past 20 years. Like everything I'd done had kind of led up to, I can put these all together and merge them, and
that's really nice. And with the dance background especially, because I've spoken to so many wrestlers who call the work they do in the ring kind of a dance routine of sorts, so that must have really helped the transition when you're talking about the physical side of things.
Well, I always remember that from training, because I'd done kickboxing, so competitive sports, and then I'd done dance, and I always thought kickboxing would be the thing that lended better to it. Yeah. Just in terms, I just assumed it would be, and I always remember when I started, they were like, actually, it's easier to get a dancer because they know they have like easier movement, and more like fluid. Whereas a lot of like martial arts and stuff, you're very like stiff and blah, blah. So I think dancing really helped with because you need to be able to move well. You need to be able to know exactly where you are. You need to be able to. And kickboxing obviously comes into it as well, because you need to know exactly where you are, where your opportunities are, where you can move into, like what positions you can get into to really like make sure you are capitalising on stuff. So I think both really helped in different ways. But I think being able, and then obviously like a lot of my offence is suplexes, kicks, things like that. So my dance background helped, because I'm like, I'm quite flexible. I can do these things quite well.
You've got it all. You've got it all going on. So for people who don't perhaps know a lot about you, haven't seen many of your matches, how would you describe your sort of character, your presentation, your skill set in the ring, your style?
Well, in terms of style, I'm very striking based from my kickboxing background, but I try and be as well rounded as possible. Like I'm also trained by Mikey Whiplash. Okay. Who is just an unbelievable wrestler in every style and knows how to do everything, and he has always encouraged me to be very well rounded, so he's taught me a lot of like British wrestling, he's made sure that I know I can do a lot of hold for hold stuff. I can go toe to toe with somebody in that. Then I've got my striking, and like I try and be as well rounded and able to like fit into everything and never be left like short-handed if I'm ever against like whatever opponent I'm against. In terms of me in wrestling, I take a lot of influence from the occult, from goddess worship, which is basically years ago when women were seen as God. Women were God, like we were the divine being, and as years went on, women were then stripped of that, and we were made lesser, and we were made, oh no, you're just a woman, like you're a poor woman, or you're even lower. And if you look at the Bible, it's like men, they're animals, and then women. So I take a lot of influence from the idea that of being a woman, it holds no barriers. Being a woman that came from a disadvantaged background, like being a woman that comes from any background, like it doesn't define you. It doesn't limit you. It doesn't hold you back in any way. And especially in witchcraft, a lot of the women that were seen to be witches, that were persecuted and prosecuted, it wouldn't be like, oh, she cursed my dog. It would be like, oh, she spoke out of tongue. Oh, she was a bit too mouthy. So a woman that went against the grain was seen to be a witch.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like if that's what you want, if you want to put that name on me, if you think I'm outspoken, if you think that I'm not being of the standard of a woman, then call me a witch. That's exactly what I am. Like I will be that, because I'm just being me. I'm just being myself, and I want to really put that message across to other women, to be like, yeah, be you. Like, don't. If people go, oh, that makes you like this, it's like, yeah, be it. If that's you, then be authentically you. Like, there's no problem with that, and it shouldn't hold you back in any way.
So that's really nice. Like, you obviously have thought long and hard and quite deeply about your character and how it's presented.
Like throughout my entire life, like I'm a massive feminist. So like feminism is such a big part of my life, and I was raised by a wonderful mother who, so my dad worked constantly, but I was one of 4 children, and we were brought up like very poor. We never had a lot of money, but my mum like made sure, looked after us 4, and then while we were at school, she would go out to work every day. She'd finish for us, come home, she'd be there when we got home, she'd put us into like dance classes, and she like really was a very strong woman, and she like done everything to make the best life, not even for herself but for us. So I've always had that, like a strong female role model. She then went on, and when I think I was like 11, she left school at 16, so she went to college. She done like an access course. She got accepted into university. She became a teacher, and she like she's a massive influence and inspiration for me. So just having a woman like her in my life, I was like, wow, women are capable of raising a family, going to university, making a career. So it's always been a big thing of that, of like, even coming from a disadvantaged background, of not being like highly educated, like you can still do everything that you set out to do.
Yeah. And is she supportive of your
she's
career?
She's my biggest fan. Like, she is. I'm surprised you can't hear her at the Albert Hall, because she was just screaming constantly. Like, she's unbelievable. From like, obviously when I'm going about wrestling and I'm in other countries and stuff, she kind of like fly out. But like every show in Scotland, she's there front row. Like, she is, and it's everything that I've done. Even when I was dancing, when I was acting, like she is like 100% my number one fan, and she's the same with my sisters as well. Like, everything she does, she thinks we are like the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
right? She loves it. Like, she sometimes is a bit like, oh, I didn't like watching that, and like she gets a bit worried, but no, she loves it.
Let's just talk about the Albert Hall.
Yes.
So, I mean, really, generally, there aren't many wrestlers on the planet who have performed at the Albert Hall. There haven't been loads of wrestling shows there, generally. How was that experience? Albeit the slightly scary scenario with Ginny, which I know was a shame.
Yeah. It was...
But yeah, how was that night for you?
It was one of the most surreal experience probably ever. The first time we walked out, because we got to the venue, and I never got out to ringside for like a wee while, so I was sitting backstage, and I was like, and it's just as soon as I walked out and I seen the ring and I seen the seats, I was just like, like it's some kind of, wow, this is really something massive. But it was. I think it's one of the things, like once you get in the ring and you're having your match, like your focus is on that, and your focus is on what's happening in the ring. But like it was those moments backstage and those moments waiting, and you were kind of just looking, and you were like, and there was nobody in. There was like stuff was getting set up, cameras were getting set up, crew were walking about, like everything was happening, and it was not even as if there was like how many people in the audience, and you're going, wow, so many people. It was just how prestigious and how it was like an honour to be there. You just felt like it's such a privilege, and so like it was just a really like proud, honoured moment, because you're just like, wow, this is something that you dream, like it's a dream, like 100% a dream. It was just, and the show itself was amazing. Like to be able to be on the same show as like everybody that was on it, and like because they're all so talented. And then having like the NXT guys come in as well, like it was it was like, oh wow, I'm really proud to be involved in this here. Like, it was great. And
WWE running shows at the Albert Hall for the first time in over 20 years is sort of testament to this boom period we're going through with wrestling in the UK particularly. Why do you think business has picked up so dramatically over the last couple of years?
I think it's just been a mix of everything. Like, I think the WWE product has been so good. So that's like obviously got its fan base, and it's providing, like, people are going, oh, I like professional wrestling, and then it's opened it went, oh, I'm going to try and find stuff, and then there's such good promotions in the UK. There's ICW, Progress, OTT, Fight Club. Like, there's so many places for people to go and be like, they can go every weekend and watch wrestling. They can go, like, there's shows running during the week. There's so many opportunities to go and watch wrestling and get involved in it. But the talent, I think that's the main thing. The talent are so willing to work and put in effort and provide the best entertainment for people that I think it's hard not to, if you watch it, I think it's hard not to enjoy it. Like, people might be a bit like, oh, I don't want to watch a wrestling show, but then once they watch it, they go, oh wow, this is actually amazing. This is really good fun.
I'm enjoying this far more than I thought I would. Yeah, and presumably it comes down to the talent as well, because WWE now kind of forming partnerships and just generally doing business with these indie promotions, completely unheard of before, and that must be down to the talent solely.
I think it's also the fan base as well. Like, the fans, if they hadn't went to shows so much, you know, they hadn't like been so involved and active and in their enjoyment in the promotions, and they hadn't really like shown that there is an audience, a fan base here. I think these opportunities might have no come up, but I think it is just it's a brilliant time for wrestling, because it seems as if like all the pieces have just kind of fit together at the right time.
Yeah,
but it's like like the great things about it as well is like with the partnerships, like WWE sending like some NXT talents and WWE talents like to wrestle ICW or Progress, and it's then opening the door, because people that maybe only watch WWE will go, oh, such and such is wrestling at Progress, I'm going to go and watch, and then they'll go for that person, but they'll go, oh, actually this was a great show, I'm going to like so it's opening, everything is working so well that it's opening doors for so many different avenues, and it's bringing in like an even bigger fan base, which is brilliant.
So 2018, what a time for a female talent in particular to be hitting their stride in the business. Like, it's got to be an incredible feeling. Yeah,
it's especially with like everything like on the independent scene as well, because there's so many opportunities, there's so many, and like obviously it used to be very I was going to say a weird word there. It used to be very unheard of for sometimes a women's match in general to be on a show. Now you're getting 2-3 women's matches, you're getting all women's shows, so there's a lot of opportunities on the independent scene. And then obviously within WWE, like the announcement of the all-female pay-per-view, Mae Young Classic. Like, there's so many opportunities. So it's really exciting, and you do feel very honoured, and you feel very... but it gives you that effort to work as well, because you go, there's so many talented women, and there's so many opportunities, and you want to make sure that you're one of those women that get that opportunity.
Yeah. So what's next on your hit list? Obviously, the Mae Young Classic is quite a good starting point.
Yes, I'm very excited for that. That's everything with... But, like, my main focus and everything that I'm kind of... like, eyes on the prize at the moment is NXT UK and Mae Young Classic. Like, that's the two. Like, that's the two things that everything I'm doing is working towards. Like, every single training session, every time, everything that I'm eating, everything that I'm watching, like, everything is going right. This is for this. Like, so I'm really, that is the end goal for these for the moment, is these two opportunities. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Mae Young Classic, and there's so many talented women in there. So I know I need to work. I know I need to put in, like, as best as I can to make the finals, to hopefully make the all women's pay-per-view, and hopefully be the next Mae Young Classic winner. So,
and so, because you're still doing indie shots as well.
Yes,
but is your sort of ultimate goal the kind of full-time contract with WWE?
Yeah, well, it's like, I love working in independent promotions, and there's so many that are so close to my heart, like, around the world. Like, so I love doing them, but everything since I was like in the back garden wrestling my sisters, I was like, I'd love to be a WWE wrestler. And then as soon as I started training, I was like, WWE is where I want to be. Like, that is the goal. And even if it seemed like a pipe dream at times, I was like, that's everything I've worked towards, is being a WWE superstar. Yeah. So that, like, if I, like, everybody obviously wants their WrestleMania moment, and everybody wants to have those opportunities. So, like, that is the goal, is to get on Raw, SmackDown, to, if NXT UK like becomes whatever it could be, because it could become anything, like, to be working for WWE, working regularly, successfully, and really, like, making my mark in WWE. That is the goal.
Yeah. And let's just do a little bit of fantasy booking, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So say the Evolution pay-per-view coming up October 28th, I think, from New York. Is it 28th? Sure, it is 28th. I mean, massive milestone, huge news that was announced last week, I think. If you could have one dream match on that night in New York, who would your opponent be?
Are we talking past or present?
Well, there's going to be past talents there, apparently. So it can be anything you want it to be. And also, what would the stipulation be?
So see, I've got like a couple, because I have, like, different reasons for different dream matches. I have, like, because I was also, like, trained partly by Nikki Cross, so I'm like, so we've wrestled in, like, community halls, and we got to wrestle at Download Festival.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd like to, like, wrestle her on, like, the biggest opportunities possible. And she's, like, so talented. So I'm like,
she's awesome.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Some of the character work she's doing
just,
at the moment,
like, gush constantly about it. I'm like, I love her. But, like, so I would love to wrestle Nikki on a massive scale like that, and really, like, go all out and do everything that we could. Obviously, within Raw, SmackDown, I'm a massive Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss fan. Like, so I would love the opportunity to wrestle both of them. Past, I mean, I love Trish Stratus.
Everyone says Trish. It's either Lita or Trish, isn't it?
So, growing up, I always remember, like, I think me and my sisters would always, like, play acting, because I had the red hair. I was always, like, put as Lita. But I just, like, Trish, and I love Lita as well. Like, she's, like, a massive influence on a lot of things. But Trish, she was, like, the one growing up that I was just always like, oh wow, like, she's amazing. And a lot, like, as well, especially everything that when she came back for the Royal Rumble and things like that, like, she's still amazing. Like, she's just, I think she's one of the, like, her and Lita as well, like, there's two of the most, like, influential female wrestlers, like, past or present, in the world.
It does always seem to come down to those two, but what I love now, looking at the landscape now, is how many different women, like, the next generation, looking back at this generation, will, you know, there are so many options now.
That is the thing, like, and we don't just have one standard of female wrestler anymore. Like there is people doing everything, and there's people doing every style and going in and having like ridiculous, like unbelievable matches. Like you look at people like Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch. Like they're going in and they're like killing it every single time. So and none of them, they don't look alike, they don't wrestle alike. Like it's not just like a one fits all.
Yeah.
So it's a great variety of talent, and it's really exciting because it does. You feel like, oh, it opens the doors of you don't need to be a certain way, a certain look, a certain something to get in, like and work and put on the best match possible.
I wanted to talk to you just briefly about your TV match that you had with Asuka.
Yes.
So that was in Manchester, so not too far from home.
No.
And obviously on that night, that particular night, you were there to do a job, literally, and make Asuka look good. But still, that must have been an awesome feeling.
Oh, it was
Monday Night Raw, the most famous wrestling show
still,
on the planet.
Like it was because I was there for a tryout. Like I'd get in on like the Sunday morning. I'd had like at that point I'd had 2 days of the tryout, and I still had another 1 day to go of the tryout.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be backstage at the show, but I never like expected I'd be doing anything. I thought I'd just like be like sitting trying to like not get in anybody's way, and just to get that opportunity because Asuka is like an unbelievable talent. I've followed her work for years, like through Japan, like Shimmer, like everything she's done. I've been such a massive fan. So to get the opportunity to share a ring with her and to get to wrestle her is it's something as well that I never thought I'd be able to get the opportunity to do, because just as I started like travelling a bit more, that's when she went to NXT. So I was a bit like, oh, I'll never really get the opportunity to wrestle her. Yeah. So then to get that like on Raw was so weird.
In the UK.
It was a surreal experience. I remember like I've got like a group WhatsApp chat with my mum and my sisters, and I was like, I'm going to be on Raw. my mum never even, like, she misunderstood, and she was like, oh, and she thought I was just going to be like in the background. Right. And then it was like the next morning she was like, you didn't tell me you were wrestling. And I was like, I did. I was like, you didn't read the message. So she had to like go back, and she was like in school that day, and she was like showing the pupils.
Oh, bless her. And how is a decision like that made? Like, so you were there for a tryout, they needed someone to work with Asuka. How was the decision to choose you? Was it like you were the standout at the tryout?
Well, we'd had the tryout, the 2 days of the tryout, and then we had a kind of mini tryout again, and the girls all had like wrestled each other, and we're like, I don't know, I don't know what the. I don't know. I'm really not that sure.
You just know that you're glad it was you.
Well, it's like something she bartered me, but it was a good opportunity and it was a good experience. But no, it was like that was just another. It was like that's everything that's happened in the past however many months since November. Since I found out I was getting the tryout in. The start of October, and everything since then like just keeps adding on, and it's like oh, that was amazing, and it's like, oh, this thing that's happening is amazing. Everything just seems to be getting better and better, like for the fact that from November to have wrestled Asuka on Raw, to wrestle at Download Festival, to be in the Albert Hall wrestling, to now be here involved in NXT UK, to be going on to do the Mae Young Classic. Like it's so surreal, and it's like you do feel you're kind of going like, oh, am I going to wake up at one point and like, I dreamed this? And it's been like such a ride to just, and it's been such a short space of time, and it's trying to like take everything in and just really appreciate like how massive and how wonderful all these opportunities really are. Yeah.
And then you'll headline the Evolution pay-per-view, and then that's your year done.
WrestleMania, it's going to
sky's the limit. Isla Dawn, really pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you.
All the luck in the world.
Thank you for having me on.
Pleasure.
Thank you.